Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Emmi. I'm Emmy, and I'm very happy you are here today.
And I'm Jack. It's great to have you with us again. In this podcast, we learn real English that people use in everyday life.
Yes, real conversations, simple explanations, and a relaxed learning style.
If you enjoy learning English with friendly conversations like this, please subscribe, like the video, and turn on the bell.
That really helps our channel grow and reach more English learners around the world.
Okay, before we start, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and get ready to learn with us.
Learning English should feel calm and enjoyable, not stressful.
Exactly. When you relax, your brain learns faster.
Jack, can I ask you something honestly?
Of course, Emmy. You can always be honest here. What's on your mind?
When I was learning English, I often felt confused about two small words, to and for.
Oh yes, those two little words can cause big confusion.
Even when my English became better, I still stopped and thought, should I say to or for?
I understand that feeling. Many English learners say the same thing.
Native speakers use these words naturally, but learners often think too much about them.
That's true. Native speakers usually don't think about grammar rules when they speak.
Instead, they just feel the language and speak naturally.
That's exactly what we want to practice today.
Today, we will learn to and for through real conversation, not through boring grammar rules.
Because real English lives in conversations, stories, and everyday situations.
Let me start with a small example from this morning.
Oh, I like morning stories. What happened?
This morning, I made coffee for you.
Thank you. That was very kind of you.
See, I used for you because the coffee was for someone. You were the receiver.
Exactly. The coffee was made for me.
After that, I walked to the kitchen to get some milk.
Great example again. You walked to a place.
Yes, to often shows direction or movement.
And for often shows the person who receives something.
But remember, we are not trying to memorize rules like in a textbook.
Instead, we want to listen, repeat, and feel the language.
Jack, do you know something many English learners say?
What do they say?
They often say, I understand English when I listen, but when I speak, my brain freezes.
Ah, yes, that frozen moment. Your mouth wants to speak, but your brain suddenly stops.
And then your brain starts asking questions like, should I say to or for?
Exactly. That moment of hesitation is very common.
That's why practicing with conversations and stories is so helpful.
Because stories feel natural and easier to remember.
Let me ask you something, Jack. Why do you learn English?
That's a good question. I learn English to communicate with people from different countries.
Nice answer. You learn English to communicate. That means you have a goal or action.
Yes, the word to connects to the action communicate.
For me, the reason is a little different.
Oh, really? Why do you learn English?
I learn English for my future.
Ah, that's a great example of for.
Yes, because for often talks about reason, benefit, or purpose.
So we can hear a small difference. To is often connected to actions or goals.
And for is often connected to reasons or benefits.
Let's try another everyday example.
Okay, I'm ready. Yesterday, I bought a gift for my sister.
That's very sweet. What kind of gift was it?
It was a book because she loves reading.
So the gift was for your sister. She was the receiver.
Exactly. And before that, I went to the bookstore to buy the book.
Another perfect example.
I walked to the store, I bought a gift for my sister, and then I gave it to her.
Wow, that sentence used to and for very naturally.
See, real life gives us the best examples.
Let's talk about feelings and daily habits now.
Good idea. What do you do when you feel tired?
When I'm tired, I listen to music.
That sounds relaxing. Music can really help the mind.
What about you? What do you do when you feel stressed?
When I'm stressed, I go for a walk in the park.
Ah, that's a common English pattern. Go for a walk.
Yes, we also say go for a run or go for a drive.
English has many patterns like this.
But we learn them through life and conversation, not long grammar lists.
If you're listening right now, try saying this sentence with us.
Slowly and clearly, I'm learning English to improve my life.
Now try another one. I'm learning English for myself.
Both sentences are correct and natural.
But they feel slightly different in meaning.
And that's completely okay.
English doesn't require perfection.
What English really needs is connection between people.
So don't be afraid to speak.
Practice every day, even if you make small mistakes.
Because mistakes are part of learning.
And every conversation helps you grow more confident.
So keep practicing, keep listening, and keep speaking English.
And remember, you don't need perfect English to communicate.
You just need the courage to start speaking.
Thanks for learning with us today.
You speak English for communication, not just for exams.
That's very true, because language is meant to connect people, not only to pass tests.
And remember, mistakes are a natural part of the journey when learning any language.
Yes, every mistake is actually an opportunity for learning and improving.
Let me ask you something, Jack. Who do you learn English for?
Honestly, I learn English for myself and for the people I want to connect with in the future.
That's a beautiful reason to learn a language.
Language becomes meaningful when it helps us build relationships with others.
Listeners, try this sentence quietly in your head.
Say it slowly. I'm watching this podcast to learn English.
Now try another one with us.
I'm watching this podcast for my confidence.
Very good. If you said those sentences, you are already practicing real English.
And every small practice step makes your English stronger.
I love how natural this conversation feels today.
Me too. English becomes easier when we stop fighting the language.
And instead, we start using it naturally in daily life.
Exactly. When we use English in real situations, it slowly becomes part of us.
You know, Jack, something funny happened to me this morning.
Uh-oh, when you start a story like that, I know it will be either funny or a little embarrassing.
Honestly, it was a little bit of both.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What happened?
I was making tea in the kitchen, and suddenly I started thinking about 2 and 4.
Wait, you mean our topic for today?
Yes, exactly. I was standing there with the kettle in my hand.
That sounds like the beginning of a funny moment already.
And suddenly I thought, should I use 2 or 4 in this sentence?
Oh no, you froze in the middle of the kitchen, didn't you?
Yes, I completely froze and just stood there thinking about it.
That's amazing. Even English teachers have these moments.
Exactly. No one is perfect, even teachers.
That must have reminded you of our listeners.
Yes, I immediately thought about them.
Many learners stop in the middle of a sentence because of 2 and 4.
I see that problem very often in comments from learners.
Yes, sometimes people write sentences like, I made this for you.
And sometimes they write, I went to the store for buy milk.
Or even, I'm here to you, which sounds a little confusing.
When I read those sentences, my brain also feels a little tired.
Mine too, but it also shows that learners are trying.
And trying is always a good sign when learning a language.
That's exactly why today's topic is important.
We are not teaching strict grammar rules from a textbook.
Instead, we're exploring real English that people use every day.
Real English is full of patterns that we learn through practice.
And those patterns become natural when we hear them often.
Before we go deeper into the lesson, let's share a quick reminder.
If you enjoy learning English through real conversations, please subscribe to Talk Emmi.
Don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend who is also learning English.
Your support helps our channel grow and reach more learners around the world.
Okay, now let's return to our topic.
Yes, let's talk about the meaning of to.
Jack, tell me honestly, what does the word to feel like to you?
For me, to feels like movement or direction.
That's a very good explanation.
It often feels like going somewhere or doing something with a purpose. Exactly. To often shows direction, intention, or purpose.
For example, if you say, I'm going to the kitchen, it shows movement.
Yes, you are moving from one place to another place.
And if you say, I'm studying English to improve my job opportunities, that shows purpose.
Right, because the action has a goal.
So to often answers questions like where or why.
It can also answer the question, for what purpose?
Now, I want to ask you a question, Emmy.
Sure, go ahead.
What does the word for feel like to you?
For me, for feels like benefit or reason.
That's a perfect description.
For often shows who benefits from something.
It can also show the person who receives something.
For example, this gift is for you.
Yes, the gift benefits you.
We would not usually say this gift is to you.
Even though you are giving the gift to someone.
That's because English is not always logical.
Sometimes English is emotional and based on common patterns.
When we focus on the receiver, we often use for.
But when we focus on movement or direction, we often use to.
That small difference is very important.
Let's slow everything down with a simple real-life situation.
Okay, I like simple examples.
Imagine that you cooked dinner tonight.
Cooking dinner can sometimes be stressful.
Now you say, I cooked dinner for my family.
Because my family will eat the food and benefit from it.
Exactly. The dinner is for them.
But if I say I went to the kitchen, that shows movement.
Yes, you moved from one place to another place.
Now let's mix both ideas in one sentence.
Okay, let's try a longer example.
I went to the store to buy vegetables for my family.
That sentence uses both to and for naturally.
And this is how real English works in daily life.
Sometimes one sentence contains many small grammar patterns.
But when we listen and practice often, those patterns become easy.
And slowly your brain stops freezing.
Instead, your brain starts speaking naturally.
That is the goal of learning English through conversation.
Not perfection, but confidence and communication.
And every day of practice brings you closer to that goal.
Let me try a sentence first. I'm learning English to speak confidently for my future.
Nice sentence, Emmy. That sounds very natural and meaningful.
Thank you. I tried to use both to and for in one idea.
Yes, and it works perfectly because your future benefits from your learning.
When learners hear examples like this, things start to feel clearer.
That's true, but many learners still get confused sometimes.
One big reason is that they translate directly from their own language.
Yes, word-for-word translation can be very dangerous in English.
English doesn't always work well with direct translation.
Instead, English works better with patterns, feelings, and common usage.
When learners listen to real conversations, they slowly understand those patterns.
Exactly, and that's why we practice through conversations like this.
Let's talk about a common mistake I hear very often from learners.
Oh, I'm curious. What kind of mistake?
Many people say something like, I explained this to him for help.
Ah, that sentence sounds like it's trying to escape from the grammar cage.
Yes, it feels a little uncomfortable when we hear it.
So what should be the correct sentence?
A better version would be, I explained this to him to get help.
That sounds much clearer.
Another correct sentence could be, I asked him for help.
Ah, so the verb ask usually goes with for.
Exactly. We normally say ask for help, ask for advice, or ask for directions.
Those are very common everyday expressions.
But sometimes we also use to after ask.
Really? Can you give an example?
Sure, you might say, I asked to speak to the manager.
Ah, now I see the difference.
In that sentence, to shows intention or permission.
English really likes to challenge learners sometimes.
Yes, but once you recognize the patterns, it becomes easier.
Patterns are like shortcuts for understanding the language.
Let's talk about emotions now.
That's an interesting idea.
How do to and for show feelings in English?
Let's think about a simple sentence. I'm happy for you.
Exactly. We say happy for you, not happy to you.
Because for shows emotional support or benefit.
It shows that you feel good about something that happened to someone else.
Another similar sentence is I'm sorry for you.
Yes, it uses the same emotional pattern.
But we also say I want to talk to you.
Right, because the action of talking is directed toward someone.
Now let me test myself with a small exercise.
Okay, I like little challenges.
Imagine this sentence. I wrote a letter, blank, my friend.
Good question. Which one should we use?
If I focus on the action of sending the letter, maybe I should say to.
Yes, I wrote a letter to my friend focuses on the action and direction.
But if I focus on the purpose or benefit, maybe I could say for.
That's right. I wrote a letter for my friend could mean you wrote it for their benefit.
So sometimes both to and for can be correct.
Yes, it depends on the meaning and what you want to emphasize.
English can be a little sneaky sometimes.
But it is also beautiful and expressive.
Let's bring these ideas into daily life examples.
Good idea. Let's start with morning routines.
Okay, imagine you wake up early every day.
I wake up early to exercise.
That shows purpose.
Then I make breakfast for my kids.
That shows benefit because your kids receive the breakfast.
After that, I go to work.
That sentence shows movement or direction.
And while I'm working, I work hard for my family.
That shows motivation and emotional purpose.
I like that example because it feels very meaningful.
Me too. It shows how language connects with real life.
This is what learners truly need to understand.
Yes, they need meaning, not just grammar rules.
Grammar rules alone can feel cold and confusing.
But real-life meaning makes language memorable.
Let's talk about time expressions for a moment.
Okay, what example do you have in mind?
Someone might say, "Thanks for coming."
That's very common in everyday conversation.
But the person who came might say, "I came to help."
That's interesting because for looks backward.
Yes, it refers to something that already happened.
And to often looks forward to the purpose.
That's a great way to think about the difference.
Wow, I feel like I impressed myself with that explanation.
You should feel proud because that was very clear.
Thank you, Emmy.
Let's look at another common mistake learners make.
Okay, what's the next example?
Some people say, "I'm waiting to you."
Oh no, that sounds very uncomfortable.
The correct sentence is, "I'm waiting for you."
Because the person is receiving the waiting.
Exactly. But we also say, "I'm going to wait outside."
That uses to because it shows direction.
Yes, English becomes consistent when we notice these patterns.
Let's talk about phone calls for another example.
Good idea. Phone conversations give us many useful sentences.
For example, I called to ask a question.
That shows purpose.
Another example is, I called for help.
That shows the reason or benefit.
Those two examples make the difference very clear.
Yes, simple sentences can teach us a lot.
Now, let's slow down for a moment.
And let's talk directly to our listeners.
If you're listening right now, remember something important.
You don't need to memorize every rule perfectly.
Instead, focus on understanding the feeling and purpose of the sentence.
Practice by listening, repeating, and using English every day.
And little by little, to and for will start to feel natural.
Yes, if you're listening right now and feeling confused, take a moment and pause.
Take a slow breath and relax your mind for a second.
Remember something important before we continue.
You are not bad at English just because something feels difficult.
You are simply learning new patterns in a new language.
And learning patterns always takes time and practice.
No one learns everything perfectly in one day.
So please don't try to memorize every rule today.
Instead, listen carefully to examples.
Notice how people use the language naturally.
Then, repeat the sentences and practice speaking them.
Over time, your brain will slowly understand the patterns.
When you talk about direction, purpose, or intention, we often use to.
And when we talk about benefit, support, or receiving something, we often use for.
But if you make a mistake while speaking, that is completely normal.
Mistakes are a natural part of learning a language.
Every learner makes mistakes at the beginning.
In fact, mistakes are a sign that you are trying to communicate.
And trying is exactly how fluency begins to grow.
Fluency doesn't appear suddenly overnight.
It grows slowly through practice and real conversations.
You know, Emmy, I have noticed something interesting about many learners.
What have you noticed?
Many learners try too hard to speak perfectly.
Yes, they want their English to be completely correct every time.
But that desire for perfection often stops them from speaking.
Exactly. They stop in the middle of a sentence.
Then they start thinking, wait, should I use to or for here?
And while they're thinking, the conversation moves on.
That moment of communication disappears.
That's why today we are not chasing perfect grammar.
Instead, we're focusing on communication and understanding.
Because communication is the real goal of language.
Native speakers rarely stop to think about grammar rules.
They usually feel the language naturally.
And that feeling comes from hearing the language many times.
Exposure is one of the best teachers.
The more you listen, the more natural English becomes.
Let's imagine a real-life conversation together.
Okay, that sounds like a fun exercise.
Imagine you are talking to a friend after work.
You are both relaxing and sharing stories about your day.
You might say, I stayed late at the office to finish my work.
In that sentence, to finish my work clearly shows the purpose.
Then you continue the conversation and say, I did it for my team.
Now, for my team shows the reason in motivation.
Both sentences feel natural and comfortable.
There is no stress and no grammar panic.
Exactly. The language flows naturally in the conversation.
Now let's change the situation slightly.
Okay, let's try another example.
Imagine you say, I'm going to my friend's house.
That sentence shows movement or direction.
Then you say, I bought snacks for my friend.
That sentence shows benefit because your friend will receive the snacks.
Do you notice something interesting here?
Yes, English often repeats the same patterns again and again, and once you notice the patterns, things become easier.
Patterns are often simpler than memorizing rules.
Let's talk about studying English itself.
That's very important for our listeners.
Emmy, why do you listen to English podcasts?
I listen to podcasts to improve my listening skills.
That's a clear example of purpose.
And I also listen to podcasts for my confidence.
In that sentence, confidence is the benefit.
Confidence is something that grows slowly over time.
It does not appear instantly.
It develops through daily practice and patience.
Just like understanding the difference between to and for.
Let's talk about helping people now.
That's another good situation for examples.
You might say, I'm here to help you.
In that sentence, helping is the action you plan to do.
But after someone helps you, you say, thank you for helping me.
Because the help already happened in the past.
That's an interesting way to think about it.
English often uses to when we look forward to an action.
And English often uses for when we talk about the result or the reason.
That idea can help learners understand many sentences.
Let's do a small listening exercise for our audience.
Just listen carefully and don't overthink the grammar.
I went to the library to study.
I studied hard for my exam.
I called my mom to check on her.
I worry for her sometimes because she works very hard.
All of these sentences are simple and natural English.
And none of them require complicated grammar explanations.
Let's talk about something very practical now.
Work emails are a perfect example.
Many emails begin with a sentence like, "I'm writing to inform you."
Yes, that phrase is extremely common in professional English.
And at the end of emails, people often write, "Thank you for your time."
Notice that we always say for your time, never to your time.
Exactly, because you are appreciating someone's effort.
What about apologies in English?
That's another interesting example.
You might say, I'm sorry for being late.
Because you regret something that already happened.
But you might also say, I came early to apologize.
In that sentence, apologizing is the purpose of your action.
And once again, the patterns become very clear.
English may feel confusing at first.
But with practice and exposure, it becomes much easier.
That's another example of action again.
Yes, the sentence clearly shows the action and the purpose.
Let's slow down again and talk directly to our listeners.
That's always a good idea because many people listening may feel nervous about speaking English.
If you feel nervous when you try to speak English, please remember something important.
It's completely okay to feel that way.
Every language learner feels nervous sometimes.
And if you mix to and for in your sentences, that is also normal.
Even advanced learners sometimes confuse these two words.
Yes, because small words can be surprisingly tricky.
But the most important thing is communication.
What really matters is that people understand what you mean.
Communication comes first.
Perfection can come later, or maybe it doesn't need to come at all.
Even native English speakers make mistakes all the time.
That's very true.
Native English speakers make mistakes all the time.
But the difference is that they keep talking without stopping.
They don't freeze because of small grammar questions.
And that is the real secret to fluency.
Keep speaking even if you are not perfect.
Because practice builds confidence.
Let's bring the discussion back to daily life examples.
Everyday situations are the best way to understand English.
Imagine you send a quick message to a friend in the morning.
You might write, I'm going to work now.
That sentence shows movement or direction.
Later in the evening, you might send another message.
You could say, I'm working late for my project.
That sentence shows the reason for your work.
Both sentences sound very natural and simple.
They sound like real people talking in everyday life.
Let's try another example with money.
That's something everyone understands.
You might say, I saved money to buy a car.
In that sentence, buying the car is the goal.
But you might also say, I'm saving money for my family.
In that case, your family is the reason or motivation.
These sentences sound natural because they reflect real life.
Yes, they are sentences that people actually say every day.
Let's talk about giving advice now.
Advice is another useful situation for learning patterns.
Imagine you want to suggest something helpful.
You might say, I recommend this podcast to beginners.
Notice that you recommend something to someone.
That shows the direction of the recommendation.
But you could also say, I made this podcast for beginners.
That sentence shows the target audience or the benefit. Beginners are the people who benefit from the podcast.
That's a very clear and useful difference.
Yes, and once you notice it, it becomes easier to remember.
Let's look at another common mistake that learners make. I think I know the one you're talking about.
Some learners say, I explained him the problem.
Yes, that sentence sounds incomplete in English.
The correct version is, I explained the problem to him.
Because the explanation goes to a person.
Exactly. The information moves toward someone.
But we might say, I did this for him.
In that case, he benefits from your action.
So, to shows direction.
And for shows benefit or support.
I feel like this idea is finally becoming clear.
Yes, it feels like the puzzle pieces are connecting.
And that is exactly the goal of this lesson.
The goal is not to memorize long grammar lists
The goal is to understand the meaning behind the words.
and to feel confident enough to use them in conversation.
Confidence grows when confusion starts to disappear.
And confusion disappears when you hear the language many times.
That's why listening practice is so powerful.
Podcasts are especially helpful for language learning.
Because you hear English again and again.
And you hear it in real context.
You hear emotion in the voices.
And you hear natural conversation.
Not robotic sentences from a grammar book.
Exactly. Real voices help you understand how English feels.
Let's keep this natural flow going.
Yes, there is still a lot of real-life English to explore.
Can I tell you something honest about my own learning experience?
Of course, honesty always makes the conversation better.
When I was learning another language, the difference between 2 and 4 confused me the most.
Really? That surprises me a little.
Yes, I understood the grammar rules in theory.
But real conversations were still difficult.
Exactly. When someone asked me a simple question, my brain suddenly froze.
That freezing moment to something every learner understands.
Inside my head, I kept thinking, should I say 2 or 4?
And while you were thinking, the conversation kept moving forward.
Yes, and that made me lose confidence.
That happens to many learners around the world.
That's why we are teaching this topic in a different way today.
We are teaching through real life instead of textbooks.
Real situations make grammar easier to understand.
Let's talk about emotions again.
That's always an interesting topic.
For example, you might say, "I'm happy to see you."
In that sentence, seeing someone is the action.
But you might also say, "Thank you for being here."
That sentence shows appreciation.
And when you listen carefully, you can feel the difference.
Yes, the meaning becomes clear through the feeling of the sentence.
Let's imagine another situation together.
Okay, what kind of situation?
Imagine it is someone's birthday.
That sounds like a fun example.
You might say, "I came to celebrate your birthday."
That shows the purpose of coming.
And you might also say, "I brought a gift for you."
That shows the benefit and kindness toward the person.
And once again, the pattern becomes clear.
English really becomes easier when we notice these patterns.
And when we practice them in real conversations.
Imagine you're giving someone a present.
You might say, "I bought this gift for you."
In that sentence, the other person benefits from the gift.
Yes, the gift is meant for the person receiving it.
Now let's look at another sentence.
You could say, "I came early to surprise you."
In that example, the purpose of coming early is the surprise.
Exactly. To surprise you explains the intention.
Many everyday situations follow this same simple logic.
The same patterns appear again and again in daily conversation.
Even when we talk about love or relationships.
Oh, that makes the topic more interesting.
For example, someone might say, "I'm saving money to travel with you."
In that sentence, traveling together is the goal.
And someone might also say, "I'm doing this for our future."
That sentence shows the reason or motivation behind the action.
You can see that English often expresses feelings through these small words.
Yes, English is emotional rather than mechanical.
That is why direct translation from another language can cause problems.
When learners translate word for word, the sentences often sound strange.
It is much better to think about the meaning of the sentence.
When you focus on meaning, the patterns become easier to understand.
Let's talk about mistakes for a moment.
That is an important topic for every learner.
Many people are afraid of making mistakes while speaking English.
But mistakes are actually a natural part of learning.
For example, someone might say, "I did this to you,"
when they really meant to say, "I did this for you."
Even if the sentence is not perfect, people usually understand the idea.
Yes,
Listeners may notice the mistake, but communication still happens.
And when communication happens, the conversation is successful.
Fear of mistakes can stop learning faster than mistakes themselves.
That is a very important point.
When learners feel relaxed, they speak more freely.
And the more they speak, the faster they improve.
Let's return to daily routines for some simple examples.
Morning routines are a great place to start.
Imagine someone says, "I wake up early to exercise."
In that sentence, exercising is the action and purpose.
After that, they might say, "I exercise for my health."
That sentence explains the reason behind the action.
Both sentences sound natural and clear.
Now let's look at a night routine.
Someone might say, "I turn off my phone to sleep better."
The purpose of turning off the phone is better sleep.
Then they might say, "I do it for my mental health."
That sentence explains the reason for the habit.
These sentences feel very natural in everyday life.
Let's talk about helping English learners now.
That's a great topic for our listeners.
You could say, this lesson is designed to help you speak.
In that sentence, helping you speak is the purpose.
Another sentence might be, we made this lesson for beginners.
That shows the audience or group who benefits.
This difference is very useful for teachers and content creators.
Yes, understanding the audience helps people design better lessons.
Let's slow down again and speak directly to the listener.
If English sometimes feels heavy in your mind, don't worry.
That feeling is very common for language learners.
It doesn't mean you're slow or incapable.
It simply means you are learning something new.
And learning something new always takes time.
So please do not rush yourself to sound perfect.
Instead, focus on speaking to connect with people.
I really love that idea.
Connection is the heart of communication.
Let's talk about asking questions now.
Asking questions is something we do every day.
You might ask someone, "Can you explain this to me?"
In that sentence, the explanation moves toward you.
After someone helps you, you might say, "Thanks for explaining."
Because the explanation already happened.
So once again, we see the difference between purpose and result.
This pattern repeats many times in English.
Let's talk about promises for another example.
Promises are a very interesting situation.
Someone might say, "I promise to call you."
In that sentence, calling is the future action.
Later, you might say, "Thank you for keeping your promise."
That sentence focuses on the result.
When learners start noticing these patterns, things feel easier.
And when things feel easier, learning becomes enjoyable.
Learning should feel exciting, not stressful.
Let's talk about goals for a moment.
Goals are always motivating.
Someone might say, "I'm studying English to get a better job."
That sentence clearly shows the goal.
Then they might say, "I'm doing it for my future."
That sentence feels emotional and meaningful.
Because language learning is connected to real life.
It is connected to dreams, careers, and relationships.
It is not only about passing exams.
Exactly. Language is a tool for life.
I want to add something important for our listeners.
Please go ahead.
When you listen to English conversations, don't pause after every sentence.
Yes, try to let the language flow naturally.
Listening should feel like following a story.
Over time, your brain will start recognizing patterns automatically.
And those patterns will help you speak more confidently.
That is how natural fluency slowly develops.
Step by step, conversation by conversation.
Your brain will slowly start to learn these patterns naturally.
Yes, and this happens in the same way that children learn language.
Children usually do not study grammar rules from books.
Instead, they spend a lot of time listening to people around them.
They listen carefully to conversations every day.
And then they try to copy what they hear.
Sometimes they say sentences correctly.
And many times they make mistakes.
In fact, children make a lot of mistakes when they are learning.
But they do not stop speaking because of those mistakes.
They continue talking and trying again.
That is where real confidence begins.
Confidence is not built by perfect grammar.
Confidence grows through action and practice.
The more you speak, the more natural the language becomes.
Over time, words like to and for will feel automatic.
One day, you will not even stop to think about them.
You will simply speak without hesitation.
That is the dream for many English learners.
And the good news is that this dream is possible.
Yes, it is completely possible for anyone who keeps practicing.
So let's keep moving forward in our conversation.
There are still many everyday situations where to and for appear naturally.
And each new example helps your understanding grow stronger.
You know, when people first start learning English grammar, they often imagine something very strict.
Yes, they imagine grammar as a long list of serious rules.
They think it is all about memorizing rule after rule.
But real English in daily life is actually much softer than that.
Real English bends and changes depending on the situation.
It moves naturally with people's lives and experiences.
Real English lives inside daily actions and habits.
It also appears in emotions and personal stories.
That is why small words like to and for are so powerful.
These small words quietly connect actions with intentions.
They help you explain what you are doing.
And they also help you explain why you are doing it.
In other words, they connect actions with reasons.
Let's think about dreams for a moment.
Dreams are always an inspiring topic.
For example, someone might say, "I'm learning English to travel."
In that sentence, traveling is the clear goal.
But someone might also say, "I'm learning English for freedom."
That sentence feels deeper and more emotional.
Because language can open many doors in life.
It opens doors to new opportunities.
It opens conversations with people from different cultures.
And it also builds confidence in yourself.
Let's imagine a simple daily moment.
Imagine you are tired after a long day of work.
That situation is very relatable for many people.
You might say, "I'm sitting down to relax."
In that sentence, relaxing is the purpose.
Then you might add, "I need this for my mental health."
That sentence expresses honesty and self-care.
English allows people to express honest feelings.
When you use the language naturally, it becomes very expressive.
Honest communication makes conversations feel real.
And real conversations help people connect with each other.
I would like to talk about kindness for a moment.
Kindness is always a beautiful topic.
Imagine you say to a friend, "I called you to check on you."
That sentence shows an action motivated by care.
Then you might say, "I did it for your peace of mind."
That sentence shows kindness and emotional support.
When used naturally, English can sound very warm.
Yes, language can carry warmth and empathy.
This happens when you stop fighting the language.
Many learners struggle because they try to control every sentence.
They worry about every small grammar detail.
But English works better when you learn to trust the process.
Trust grows through listening and practice,
It also grows through repeating what you hear.
and through making small mistakes without fear.
Let's talk about encouragement now.
Encouragement is very important for learners.
If you are listening right now and thinking, "I still feel confused," that is okay.
Confusion often means that your brain is learning something new.
Clarity usually comes a little later.
You do not need to understand everything today.
It is enough to understand a little more than yesterday.
That small improvement is real progress.
Every step forward counts.
I like how learning English mirrors real life.
That is an interesting thought.
In life, we do things to move forward.
And we do things for reasons that matter to us.
Language works in a very similar way,
Learning English is also about moving forward,
and about discovering the reasons that motivate you.
step by step, conversation by conversation.
Until one day, speaking English feels natural and comfortable. When you practice English every day, you practice to improve little by little.
And you continue learning for your future and for the opportunities that language can bring.
Many people also learn English for their confidence and for the ability to express their ideas clearly.
Others learn it for their voice, so they can share their thoughts with people around the world.
At the beginning, small words like to and for may feel confusing.
But with time and practice, those words start to feel more natural.
One day, you may notice something surprising.
You will no longer stop and think about whether to use to or for.
Instead, the words will come naturally while you are speaking.
That happens because language grows through use, not only through rules.
Grammar rules can guide you at the beginning.
But real fluency grows when you hear and use the language again and again.
The more you listen to real English, the more familiar the patterns become.
And the more you speak, the more confident you will feel.
So take your time and do not rush the learning process.
Enjoy each small step as you move forward.
Speak English whenever you have the chance to practice.
And listen carefully whenever you need more understanding.
Some days you will feel very confident.
And on other days, you may feel a little unsure.
Both experiences are completely normal in language learning.
What matters most is that you keep going.
Always remember the real reason you started learning English.
You are learning English to communicate with people.
And you are also learning English for yourself and your personal growth.
That is one of the most powerful reasons to learn any language.
Language can open doors to new friendships and opportunities.
It can help you share your ideas, your dreams, and your experiences.
So keep listening, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself.
Little by little, your English will become stronger and more natural.
Thank you so much for spending this time learning with us today.
We truly enjoy sharing these conversations with you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to like the video.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English lessons.
Your support helps us continue creating helpful content for learners.
We hope to see you again in our next episode.
Until then, keep practicing and keep learning.
Goodbye, everyone, and take care.